Hi there. Hey, my name is Scott Marker, and this is my podcast called Treasure Valley Quick Tips. And what it is I own a franchise here in the Treasure Valley. We're out of Houston, Texas. It's called Network in Action. It's a once a month professional networking groups, local owners and decision makers. And a lot of times I bring in local experts in their field to try to give some advice to the rest of the people here in the Treasure Valley. So today we have brought in Jamie. So why don't you introduce yourself, Jamie?
Hey everyone, my name is Jamie. I'm with Valley Office Systems, and I am a interior solutions specialist. And what that basically means is I help people furnish their corporate office spaces. We're located in Boise off Kendall Street, and we are also a technology-driven company as well. So we provide integrated solutions between copy, print, scan, faxing, and document storage services, along with interior design and furniture delivery and install.
Cool. That's awesome. Hey, and then also I've heard you guys have been around for a long time, great reputation, but I didn't know you guys, how many locations do you guys have here in Idaho?
We have 3 in Southern Idaho, 1 here in Boise, and then we are in Jackson, Wyoming, and 2 locations in Utah as well.
Wow. Yes. Yeah. And tell us, getting ready for this, I didn't really know how many places you're in, because I just always known Boise because I grew up in Boise. So perfect.
Yep, we're headquartered in Idaho Falls. It was the company was started in Idaho Falls about 20 years ago.
Wow.
So we've been around a little while. We know
been around a while. That's right. Great reputation. Hey, when it comes to office space, because that's your whole expertise. I'm kind of like what because I'm clueless. What's cool right now? What's kind of, is there any trends like for cool looks and business modern looks? I mean, what's the trends that you're seeing out there?
Of course there is. So I think there's kind of a new phrase that's being thrown around right now, and it's called Reza Mercial. And what that basically means is that people spend between 8 and 10 hours a day in their offices, and they want to feel like it's home. So we're kind of combining that residence commercial feeling with our office space interiors, and that can look a lot of different ways. A lot of people are incorporating sort of a living room feel into their workspace.
Oh, wow.
Where they're taking anywhere between 8 to 12 square feet, throwing in a carpet, putting in a couch, a couple nice chairs, and really treating it like a comfortable collaboration area is what people are calling it. So trying to get away from the sterile cubicle, office, space TV show type feel, and trying to make it feel more like home for people.
That's cool. So okay, now there's that one. So is there any other one though? If somebody says, I want a little bit more business-like, what would you recommend for them on that?
Well, there's a million different lines, I would say, of furniture that you can choose from. We work with several where you're taking a particular style, whether it's, traditional or, and that would be like your case goods, your oak desks, your really nice bookcases, executive office type furniture. And then also all the way to the other extreme of super hyper modern, open workspaces where you're having very minimalistic type furniture. So everything's very clean lined, minimal legs, limited work top spaces. We're kind of taking the bulk out of everything and making it feel very open and
more streamlined.
Yes, easy to move around in. Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking, before talking to you, I was thinking, now what office space did I work in that I thought was just a dive? And then also, and it was the same. It's one of the first jobs out of college, and they were an international company, had a Boise office. And I remember during the interview process, they told me that because the office was a dive, they said, we are getting a new office. And it was looking back. The fact that they had to make such a point that we're not going to do the very long, because again, it's about attracting employees, and making them, hey, this is the way. So, and then we did move to a really nice office. And so it perked, everybody perked up. And it was it was, it was funny because we're
Yeah.
going from two extremes. So now the whole living room scene kind of like, is that kind of, I mean, is that kind of the new trends because of the whole COVID thing that, I mean, I was on a webinar today and, everybody's in their, several people in kind of a living room type situation, so
Yeah.
is that what changes have happened? Is that, I mean, is there anything else besides just that's been?
Yeah, I think, primarily, the COVID situation has kind of driven everybody in a way to rethink their office setups as well. I mean, obviously you have one side of, the group that's just like, get me out of my home office. I want to be around people. Okay.
Right.
And then you've got another side that's like, hey, I'm still really cautious. I want to come in, but I still feel like there needs to be some, health and safety protocols in place. So there's definitely been, I've noticed, and I'm working on a couple projects now where there's sort of a hybrid of both of those where,
Okay.
the workstations that we're doing are very touch and go because a lot of people are opting to work hybrid work schedules where they're just coming in 2 to 3 days a week.
Right.
They want to be able to pour it in really quickly, do their work and leave. And then, also having office spaces in the same facility for people who are, willing to be there 8 hours a day.
Yeah.
And we do want that, hey, I've been at home for a year and I kind of miss that at home feel, bringing that back into the office space as well. So I think that we're looking at things slightly differently. Obviously, the health and safety, plexiglass panels and paneling systems and privacy screens and different things like that are definitely a part of the concept design at this point because we're having to kind of rethink, how they're fitting maybe people into a tight space and how do we make them feel comfortable with that.
Right.
Yeah.
And kind of maybe transition them back, I guess, that part, because I didn't even think about that because like everywhere you go, there's dividers everywhere, restaurants and stuff like that. So I guess for whatever, I mean, I didn't really think about it. You're right. I mean, to make people comfortable about coming back to work, you might have to put a little bit of space between people, maybe some dividers and stuff like that.
Yep. It's just, a lot of, for employers right now, it's just about accommodating, and it's really hard to do that for everybody, but I think that we've kind of figured out how to make it work for everybody. And there really are solutions for that.
Huh. So here's the question is when does somebody, because like the one I mentioned to you out of college, they knew because the place was, I don't know how long they'd been there, but forever. When is an employer, how do you know when's the time to do an update to your office?
Yeah. Well, I think like you said, employee retention, when you have, a limited group of qualified candidates and every company is vying for those candidates. They want them. How are they attracting them? Okay, yes, we have great benefits packages. Yes, our base salary is great. Yes, our commission structure is great, whatever that is. But at the end of the day, if that same employee walks into a workspace like, you're talking about that you experienced right out of college, or the next guy who has the same, basically the same compensation package, but this beautiful, updated, friendly, inspiring workplace. I mean, it's kind of a no-brainer, and it's a huge determining factor for people when they're choosing who they're going to be employed by.
Yeah, and again, this is things that you're an expert at. I'm not, but I mean, thinking about it, I mean, if I'm walking into an office, even if it's not where I'm working, just into an office, and it's all gloomy and dark and stuff. It's first opinions, on a place. So, and you don't have to. I mean, so do you? Yeah, I'm sure you do. You work with people on budgets, right? I mean, all different sizes of budgets. I mean, for somebody who just wants they have a smaller budget, but they still want to spice it up a little bit, or maybe just certain areas and not other areas because they're not seen very often. That's kind of where your expertise comes in, right? Helping them kind of budget.
Yeah, absolutely. And, a lot of, and something I didn't touch on in the last question is, outside of employee retention, a lot of the office interior space is also a sort of another expression of your brand. Who are you?
Yeah.
And, you may spend tons of money on marketing and have all this great branding, and then have your client show up to your workplace and your conference room is 25 years old, and, everything's outdated, and
Yeah.
it just doesn't align with maybe your web presence.
Yeah.
That is a huge place where I would say, hey, if you are on a budget, let's touch all those places in the office where your clients are going to be front facing and
Yeah.
interacting with you, your brand,
Yeah.
right out of the gate. Like, let's put our dollars there,
Yeah. Yeah. No, yeah, you're exactly right. I mean, yeah. And then even if they do a Zoom like this, it's nice to, nice to have a nice little background or something that, if you're trying to show off the brand, especially if you're trying to
Absolutely.
sell your big company, try to close a big deal.
Yes. I mean,
you don't want to be like in a home office like me. You want to be like, hey, let me show you who you're working with as a business, So, and so that goes into, okay. So yeah, that ties all back in again. So, and so I think that kind of answered, like, another question I had is so how, when it comes to, making it a place, that employees want to come, right? So what are some of the things right now that you mentioned some of them? Are there any more that kind of make businesses attractive here in the Treasure Valley? Things that you recommend to people, businesses?
Everybody's so different. And I was going to speak to growth, because I think right now people are either downsizing in a big way because they are sending employees home to work permanently, because that just works for them.
Right.
But then what I've noticed is there's been a ton of growth over the last year, and people are now bringing everybody back and realize, oh my gosh, we need a bigger space. So one thing that we do is we work with that customer prior to move in, and I have a really great timeline that just kind of walks you through, at what stage do I need to start looking at office interiors,
right?
Purchasing, because there is a little bit of a process to it, because we do need to do the space plan, we do need to measure the building, we need to pick products, we need to get, our supply chain managed, make sure everything gets there at the time of moving.
Yeah.
So there's a lot to it. It's not just like going to Staples and buying a couple chairs because you don't have them. If you're having, you are actually moving into a new space, maybe we need to get rid of all your old stuff. Maybe you need to have us bring our people in and get rid of all the old stuff, and then go in and space plan the new place. So that's actually what I've been seeing a lot lately, is people are growing and they need different places, and they don't want to bring the old stuff with them. So we have options for that as well.
Perfect. Yeah. And again, this is why I bring you in, so you can talk to other people, but you don't think about it, but it is. I mean, thinking, okay, if I was moving, and here in the Treasure Valley, if anybody lives in Treasure Valley, Idaho, they know the growth is just out of control.
It's crazy.
I mean, there's employers moving here, big employers, got Amazon over there. I mean, it's just crazy. And they're going to open up another one. So we have huge growth, but what you're talking about, what your team does is, it is a logistics thing. I mean, okay, we're going to go into this space, but what do we do with all the junk we had? Or, it's going to, so that, okay, all those logistics on trying to plan. It isn't just so simple. Oh yeah, we're going to get some furniture. No, it's like, you got to plan, because that makes total sense. What you were saying about, what would you call it? Something plan? You had
well, the supply chain, I mean, just being able to have a project manager like me that's working, with you from, conception to install, to making sure everything works. So you got what you needed, and if there's any problems, I'm there, backtracking, getting people to fix whatever it is. Yeah. So
that's awesome. Hey, one last thing here I want to say is that, one thing that I found out, because again, I've known your company for years, and great reputation and stuff. But when it comes to commercial office furniture, right? How long have you been doing it in Idaho?
Oh, we've been doing it in Idaho for probably over a decade.
Yeah, but recently you're bringing it to here to the Treasure Valley. Okay.
Huge market in Boise. So we are.
That's great news. We need. I mean, like I said, we need more. Like I said, when I heard that, I went, well, that is great. Is it? You guys have been doing it down in southern Idaho for a long time.
And Utah. Yeah.
Oh, and Utah too. Oh, that's great. Well, the Treasure Valley needs it. I know that because, like I said,
Yes.
anybody that lives here knows that we have lots of growth, and things are the things are seeming to be more somewhat back to normal and stuff like that. And I think you're going to see a lot more employers
Yep.
kind of coming up here. So, well, perfect. Well, thank you very much, Jamie. I really appreciate it. And hey, if anybody's going to reach out to you, what's the best way to get a hold of you?
I love talking to people on the phone, and I'm super happy to meet in person. So my phone number is 208-803-1526.
Perfect.
And jdrake@valleyofficesystems.com.
Awesome. And what I'll do is I'll put it in the notes too, so people can, if they watch this, can see it and get that too. So, hey, thank you very much again, Jamie. Appreciate it.
Bye.
Hey, good luck helping everybody out, because man, a lot of businesses need you. we're busy, so yeah. Hey, thanks again.
Bye.